He is a six-time Connecticut Sportscaster of the Year. Our friend Scott Gray, WTIC News Talk 1080, bringing you here to talk about baseball of all things, and not even Major League Baseball, college baseball,
Imagine
and
that.
UConn baseball.
Imagine that. Baseball season, we're going to talk some baseball.
What a banner year for UConn baseball.
Great year. You know, they came just short of the College World Series, getting to the Super Regionals, something that they've never done before. You know, they just had a great season, great Big East season. Learned a lot in the preseason when they played a lot of Southern teams. Took a few lumps early in the season before they got into the Big East schedule. By the time they got to the NCAA tournament, this was a team that was ready.
So how did they do? How did the team out in New England, cold, right, go and compete on the national level? And not only that, we'll talk about having two kids, first-round draft picks, and 10 who were picked in the Major League overall. What's happening out there with UConn baseball? The manager, Penders,
Jim Penders, he's a big part of it. He's a very.
What's he doing over there?
I think it's enthusiasm. You know, some guys are just really obsessively driven. Jim Penders is very enthusiastic about the sport. He's enthusiastic about the athletes that he recruits.
So that can't make you hit the curveball.
Well, that's where you have to recruit good athletes. You have to have good coaches to train them. Penders comes from a great bloodline. His father is Jim Penders, who is the baseball coach, longtime baseball coach at East Catholic High School. And a couple of years ago, by the way, the field at East Catholic was named Jim Penders Field for Jim Penders, the East Catholic baseball coach. Well, there's a Jim Penders Field in Western Connecticut named after Jim Penders, Jim Sr., Jim's father, Jim Jr.'s grandfather. I mean, the whole line. But anyway, if Jim keeps it up in stores, there's eventually going to be a Jim Penders Field in Eastern Connecticut, and they'll have the entire state covered.
Well, how about this? Can they even keep Jim Penders? You know, you're looking around the country and saying, here's a guy in Connecticut bringing his team to the championships here and having 10 kids drafted, 2 first-rounders. Can UConn keep this guy Penders?
This is a family that's very deeply rooted in Connecticut. UConn grads. His uncle is Tom Penders, the basketball coach who has been very successful at a number of locations. A UConn alum, too. They are really, you know, their family is deeply rooted in Connecticut. And I think he is the kind of coach that can build a program a la Jim Calhoun, a la Gino Auriemma, that makes it the kind of program where you say, why would I want to go anywhere else?
You need a baseball stadium, don't you? But what's happening over in the stores with baseball? I'm assuming the stadium's not too.
You know, there are a number of circumstances surrounding a stadium. I think I'm not positive about this, but I know that they have a pretty good collection of cash out there from the boosters of the baseball program, where they could certainly make some renovations to the stadium, certainly expand the stadium a bit.
But the profile's been raised, right?
The profile has been raised.
As it has on 2 guys who were drafted in the first round. This is a big deal, right? 2 young men.
George Springer, the number 11 pick overall.
George Springer.
You know, he's an outfielder.
Son of George Springer. Dad's an attorney. His father was a union guy. His dad's a great guy.
Right. He's an outfielder. He hits a ton. He's a graceful outfielder, great defensive player.
We have some video there, Mike, of George Springer.
Do we have some video of George?
But you give the scouting report, though.
But you know, the thing is, he's and that's it. He's also a big stick guy. There, you see him right there showing some of that stick. And
I mean, can he stick in the big leagues? Does he have what it takes to stick in the big leagues? Because one thing to get drafted, another thing to get into the big leagues and stay there.
Well, you know, I think the great thing about the way they develop big league players is the way that they bring them up through the minor leagues. You know, with football and basketball, it's a quick fix. The kids are looking for the quick bucks right away. Right. They go right from college to the big leagues. Whereas when you're moving up in baseball, you develop at the same level as the other guys that you're developing with. And I think guys like George Springer and Matt Barnes, the pitcher who was selected in the 19th pick overall, have shown themselves that they are heads and shoulders above their own level, and they'll be allowed to develop that way.
All right, real quick on Matt Barnes, show a little video on him also. Kid from Bethel, Connecticut.
Right.
So talk to me about him, his prospects, what makes him a first-rounder.
Well, you know,
lanky kid, right? Lanky young man.
He's a lanky kid. He's a big kid. He's got good arm motion. He can, and I think the big key with a lot of pitchers today is the ability to change speeds, the ability to, not just throw a change curve, but a straight change. And I see it like in the minor league levels now. Pitchers that can throw 91, 92 miles an hour at that age, at the college age, but can also throw a straight change up and mix it up with a straight curve. It's not so much how hard you can throw. It's what kind of movement you can put on and how you can change up your pitches.
In a minute,
and he can do that.
In a minute, let's segue to basketball now. LeBron James. Didn't happen for the big three. The old guy, the old guards took it. The Dallas Mavericks, Jason Kidd, Dirk Nowitzki. Your thoughts now on the big three and LeBron and Bosh, Wade?
When we last talked about them, they were playing Chicago, and I told you I like Chicago because I like the way Chicago played defense. I thought they were deeper defensively. I thought they had more guys that could play defense, although Miami developed a reputation as a good defensive team, but I just didn't think they could pull it off for an entire game or a long series. Well, they proved me wrong in that Chicago series, but I think it showed up in this series with Dallas.
30 seconds.
In that late in the game, they were giving up way too many open shots, and I think that all that defense throughout the game really wore particularly LeBron down. He was awful in the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, not scoring any points. They want to compare him to Michael Jordan. He has no rings. He's not scoring in the fourth quarter. Can we end at least now the comparisons of LeBron James and Michael Jordan for at least a few years?
For at least a few years. I think we're still. I think we're still 6 rings away from comparing Michael Jordan or LeBron James to Michael Jordan. But again, I just think that when it came right down to it, I think that Dallas's ability to play defense longer with more players with that ability off of their bench, I think that really turned out to be the key. All
right, this is the key. They're wrapping us up now. Thanks to all our guests, Doug Sussman, Christine Dempsey, Scott Gray, all the others. Don't forget to catch our show 24/7 at ctnow.com/stand and check out exclusive behind-the-scenes video of the show. Friend us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. For the good folks here at Fox Connecticut, I'm Stan Simpson. The morning news is next.